Good afternoon. This is Jessica, and I will be actually taking you through the client portal on how to manage your driver enrollment. By now, you should have all received a client user to access the Pace Runners Agents portal to manage your drivers. If you have not received access to the Openforce client portal, please contact Pace Runners Agents. They'll send a request over to Openforce to get you set up. When you've logged into your client portal, you will always land on the enrollment tab. All of your pending enrollments will be visible here down below. Action and status provide real-time feedback, so you'll be able to see how far your driver is along in the enrollment, along with the action and status is pending for that individual. Kind of just to go over a little bit of the functionality in your portal. So when you log in, again, keep in mind any of these tabs here are sortable or customizable. You can place them wherever makes sense to you when managing your business. So maybe the name of the individual is more important than having the type of enrollment package listed. Feel free to click, drag, and drop wherever you'd like. For some reason, maybe the type of enrollment is not important to you at all. You can actually hide that column by simply clicking by hide column. You're going to right click hide column, and that will remove that off the grid. Again, you can also filter the number of your page size from 10 to 200. So feel free to do that as well. And then I'll go ahead and get started. So for a brand new driver coming through the door, you will have the ability to generate enrollment instructions for that individual. So from the enrollment tab, you'll select generate enrollment instructions. Your location will be listed, so it'll be your business that's listed under the drop-down menu. And then you'll also select the package type, which would be a driver enrollment, and click generate instructions. From this screen, you're able to grab one of the existing activation codes that are here, or you can create a new shared code if you need to. Simply click on the icon here under the actions column, and this will allow you to grab the enrollment instructions from one of the options below. So if you want to print and provide a copy to your driver, then simply select PDF, get instructions. This will allow you to print and provide the instructions to the driver. On the enrollment instructions, it will have Pace Runners information as the company. It'll also have your business name listed along with the type of enrollment they will be completing. They'll also have to enter the activation code here, and they may need some of these additional items in order to complete their enrollment. If for some reason they need assistance with their enrollment, feel free to refer them to our customer support phone number at 1-800-742-7508, or they can email customersupport@openforce.com. Our customer support also is bilingual, so they can assist anyone that speaks Spanish as well. I will go ahead and close these up here. So keep in mind your driver will not appear on your grid until they've entered the activation code. So keep that in mind. So they will have to, if they're brand new, they're going to create an account and create their username and password for the first time. If they're existing, perhaps providing services to another client with Openforce, then they'll simply log in with their existing user information. If for some reason they forgot their login, feel free to refer them to our customer support, and they can reset their credentials if they need to. All right, so once you have your drivers listed in the enrollment tab here for review, there is a couple of action icons that you can click on. First one is View Signed Documents. So if you want to take a look at any of the documents that have been completed, feel free to click View Signed Documents icon, and that will give you visibility to the documents that have been assigned. Next one is the notes field. If you have if you have multiple people managing enrollment, feel free to enter notes here. Simply clicking on that icon, adding a note, will allow you to share the notes with any other admin that may be managing your enrollment. So just hovering over the notes field will allow you to see that message. Next is the audit history. You can review that audit history from the time that they begin their enrollment, entering in the activation code, going through each step of the enrollment process. And the last icon is to decline an enrollment. So if for some reason you choose not to move forward with the driver, feel free to decline the enrollment. That will keep your grid clean and clear. It does remove them off the grid. If for some reason they want to come back and move forward with the process, you have a status category up here with 4 different types of statuses. If you were to choose decline and click refresh, this will allow you to see all your decline enrollments. Under the action tab, you'll see reinstate enrollment, or you can reinstate that enrollment. Keep in mind you don't want to reinstate anything more than 90 days that's been sitting in the queue. All right. So once a driver does enroll, the responsibility to review and approve documents will go back to the freight agent to review. So if you click on Approve Reject, that's going to open up the documents to review and approve if everything looks great. So again, you have the ability to preview any of these documents, but for those that are waiting approval, the documents that are waiting approval, you're going to want to click on Preview. This will open up the document to review. If everything looks great, then you're simply going to click Approve. Next document, you're going to go ahead and click Preview again, and that will open up the document, or you can download the document for review as well. When you're reviewing documents, you want to make sure that 1, the document is valid, and 2, that it is not expired. If you do see an expiration date that's tied to this document, you will want to update it by clicking Edit Document. So for example, it looks like this document expires as an example 5/12/96. If I wanted to capture the true expiration date of this document for tracking purposes, I'm going to enter that date here. So I'm just going to do a more up-to-date expiration date just for training purposes. So I enter in my date here, and then all these notification intervals will all automatically be selected. What that means is it's going to go back out to the driver as they get near expiration date. Those will ping the driver to alert them, letting them know that their document is set to expire soon. Anytime a document is updated, that will go back over to a freight agent to review and approve once again. So if I click Accept, I can now approve my driver's license, and now an expiration date is tied to that as well. All right, moving on. So it looks like Pace Runners is requiring a couple of compliance documents in addition to the profile badge photo and driver's license. So I believe that they require that either a driver come to the game with either a valid MBR, background screening, or drug screening in place, or they can utilize the services with our partnered screening service, Proforma, to purchase their screenings upfront and pay during enrollment. So during enrollment, they're presented with a driver enrollment credit card information page. It does give them information on what is accepted by Pace Runners on a background check and an MBR. It also has the fees of the services that they would that are being required to either be uploaded or purchased in real time to get those screenings in place. So the fees are particular to the driver's license. So pricing is based on the state of the driver's license and is non-refundable. As you see, each state is listed here along with the MBR rate and the CBC and drug screening. Keep in mind the CBC and drug screening is one service. They run in parallel. So when the MBR gets started, only that fee will be charged. Once that has been approved, then you will be responsible to click Start CBC. That will begin the background screening and the drug screening. If for some reason the driver does not show up in the allotted time to get that drug screening completed, and I believe that's 3 days to get completed, then it will automatically fail that CBC, and that service would have to start all over again and be paid for a second time. So keep that in mind. Once both of these services have been completed, again, they will be approved or they will be failed, and you'll have clear visibility to that in your portal. If for some reason it's waiting on billing, perhaps the IC decided not to input their credit card or payment information, they can always log back into their portal and do so at a later time. Otherwise, they're going to be uploading a valid MBR, background screening, or drug screening. And if you have more questions on that information or requirements, feel free to contact page runners directly for that information. Otherwise, you would be reviewing the MBR, verifying that the document is valid, and verifying the expiration date on that document. If it is a valid document and has the expiration date tied to it, again, make sure to update the expiration date by clicking Edit Document. I'm going to go ahead and approve these documents. And if for some reason maybe the driver sent you the drug screening results, then you have the ability to upload on their behalf as well, or they can contact customer support for assistance. All documents would need to be taken action before you can move to the next phase. One second as it's thinking here. I'm going to refresh my screen. So again, I am doing this in real time in a live enrollment environment and client portal as well. Give me 1 second. We got an error message here. So if you run into any system issues while you're monitoring your enrollment, feel free to reach out to customer support. They can also assist you with any questions or issues you may be having in the system. All right. So for the ICs that decide to provide their own documents, such as the MBR, background screening, or drug screening, you do have the ability to bypass the MBR. So you're simply going to bypass it. And then you would also have to bypass the CBC, which includes the drug screening service as well. And the only time you would be bypassing those services is in the event that that the driver has uploaded a valid document, you have reviewed them and approved them. The next action status that will be pending and show over to you will be pending client workflow approval. What that means is it's now being turned over to page runners for a final review and approval. So they will be coming in and verifying the documents that have been uploaded. They'll also be validating whether the IC or the driver provided a valid MBR background screening or drug screening, or if there's a current background screening on file. And they'll have the ability to review that when they come through on their end as an admin. Otherwise, if you do not see the documents that have been uploaded, an MVR, background check, or drug screening, you can verify with the driver directly if they will be providing those documents, or if they choose to move forward with purchasing it through the Proforma screening services that we are partnered with. If they've entered in a valid billing information, then you'll be able to click Start MVR. That service is going to automatically go over to Proforma to begin. And then the status will automatically change to waiting approval. Once that MVR has been approved, it'll then go back and revert to Start CBC. You begin the CBC process, and again, it'll show waiting CBC approval. Anytime it's failed, it'll also present that action status in your grid as well. Keep in mind, in your client portal guide that will be accompanied with the training, it'll go into more details on some of the actions that are pending for the background screening, so feel free to refer back to that guide on any of your questions. And if you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to customer support at 1-800-742-7508. All right, so the next thing would be once the background screening has been approved, then it's going to go over to Pace Runners for workflow approval. Once that workflow approval is complete, it'll then be change the action status to contract. Now the freight agent would be the one responsible for contracting the IC. So again, you would show on the action column, you're going to have a contract button that you're going to simply click on, and that's going to contract the driver over. And they will no longer be on your grid for monitoring enrollment. They now will be living under the contractor's grid, where you can verify some of the information there. So give me 1 minute as I actually, let me see here. Let me see 1 minute while I put this on pause. I'm actually going to act as the pace runner so you can see what that contractor button looks like. Please hold for 1 minute. Give me 1 more minute as I'm updating here on my end to allow the approval. All right, so this is similar to what they would be seeing here. So they're going to see the workflow approval reject button that pace runners will be able to come in, verify the information that I have mentioned. approve the workflow if everything looks great, reject it if something is missing in the workflow. So you'll have clear visibility in your portal if a workflow has been rejected. And again, the driver would receive a notification if their enrollment was rejected as well. So then it would be the freight agent's responsibility to click contract. And again, that's going to remove them from this grid. And now you can view their profile under the contractors tab. I refresh my screen here. Now you have clear visibility to your drivers listed under the contractors tab. They're assigned an Openforce ID. It shows when they were contracted or when they finished their package. Along with under the action column, you have more information on the individual that you're managing, along with documents. So you always have the visibility to come and review the audit trail if you need to, verify the background check. If they had any background checks ran, it'll show that information there. And I believe that is it. Actually, going back to this icon, you do have access to all our documents under the document vault. And you can manage your drivers from this tab. In regards to the placeholders that have been uploaded, in regards to the drug screening, MVR, and background check, all of those documents will live under the IC document vault. If for some reason the driver provides you a new updated copy, you can click update and update that existing document that's here. You'll have clear visibility of the expiration date and the next notifications going out to the driver as well. If for some reason you have to download a copy of all the driver's enrollment documents, you have that visibility under the document vault. Here, all your drivers would live under here. Simply click on the checkbox. That will create a zip folder, and all the individual files that have been e-signed or uploaded will be contained in that folder. Alrighty, well that looks like that concludes our training session. Feel free to dial in to customer service at any time for support, questions, or assistance on enrollment or system issues. I thank you and have a great day.